Hello and welcome. This presentation was prepared on the 10th anniversary of our association's journey in promoting landscape resilience in a homeowners association. So what's all this meant for the landscape? In regards to tree pruning, our common area trees are now professionally maintained by Angelo Romeo Tree Service. These are examples of the careful approach to pruning in the neighborhood that is resulting from the same, rather than witnessing thinning cuts to just get a problem branch out of the way. We've been using Angelo for the last 2 years since his proposals carefully inventory each tree or area that will be maintained, providing us a price for each line item which we can revisit and amend individually. We also appreciate his company sharing training materials and hosting community walkthroughs that give residents an opportunity to learn from a trained professional rather than a passionate resident such as myself. Over the next 2 years, this approach gave our trees an opportunity to restore inner canopy growth with all the ancillary benefits that come from the same. As we've learned from Angelo, these include increased shade in our common area paths, protection of tree trunks from sunburn, a physiological response to realize thicker and stronger diameter branches, vibration dampening in high winds, and increased photosynthesis to support a stronger root system, which in turn contributes to scaffolding. Having said that, it takes time to realize these benefits in the community. In addition, the results are varied depending on the tree or shrub. To demonstrate this response, I'll compare photos of our landscape collected during the late monsoon in 2022 to more recent photos collected in March of 2025. Keep in mind that the photos collected in March were taken before plants leafed out, so any improvement you see will likely be compounded in the summer. Thanks to these modified landscape practices, we're beginning to witness additional benefits on the landscape. Areas that were formerly subject to blowers are now allowed to accumulate organic debris, which not only adds color to the landscape, but is critical to tree health and water conservation. That organic material in turn supports insects, which in turn supports a variety of lizards, and provides materials for verdins to build nests in restored canopies. More flowers in restored spring canopies means there's more food for bees. Insects and added shade provide habitat for quail. Quail also support a healthy population of bobcats that frequent our common areas and result in welcome sightings by neighbors and visitors. Inner canopies are now shading sunburned trunks and improving overall shade in the community. Since our common areas are spared from herbicide treatments, desert natives support opportunities for making thoughtful gifts for neighbors and friends rather than purchasing cheap goods on Amazon. And because we no longer prune our milkweeds and other flowering plants year-round, these plants now have an opportunity to support tarantula hawks and other interesting insects during the monsoon. Lion-tailed trees that were lost in prior storms are recovering on their own by simply being left alone. And the overall increase in moisture associated with our water harvesting activities creates habitat for desert toads that visit during the monsoon. We do occasionally see snakes, but they typically keep off our paths since we're diligent about removing adjacent pack rat middens. When we do see them, they're typically basking on warm streets or stick to our open areas away from dogs and people, for which they don't particularly want to interact with. and our walking paths are now more welcoming to neighbors and visitors. I personally believe the, quote, natural but neat aesthetic we promote directly correlates to property values. Having said that, the correlation is qualitative at best and difficult to measure. Given natural differing sensitivities, some in our community understandably may not think it really makes much of a difference or frankly may not care. I totally respect this point of view, but at the same time, one area we can capture the impact is in dollars and cents. And in this regards, no one likes to see their hard-earned dollars mismanaged. So if we can highlight the benefits in terms of a universally accepted metric, specifically the impact on people's wallets, I think we can help in sustaining this approach moving forward. To summarize, pivoting to a quality versus quantity approach to landscape management has yielded close to $17,000 in savings over the course of 2 years. If you add water savings over the last 8 years, now we're seeing close to $40,000 in savings. That's real money that helps us keep association dues in check during an inflationary period of time in our history. This concludes this summary of our 10-year anniversary for these ongoing efforts. I want to thank everyone shown on this slide for your help and support over the years. If you're interested in taking a leadership role in your own community, please check the description of this video for resources that might help. Catch you next time.